Hey guys, Jason here, coming into you with another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. Today I want to go through my top 5 baits that were really good for me in 2018. 2018 was kind of a crazy year. And sorry for all that background noise, I'm doing this outside my house. 2018 was kind of a crazy year. It was a wet year. Constant rain, storms coming through, everything was just crazy going through. Started off with trout fishing, then we started getting into bass fishing. I was doing a lot of the LTB tournaments. I was in the Big Bass World Championship, and both of them I didn't do very well in. As the season progressed, I started getting bored with bass fishing, and then was slowly transitioning, and I was doing really good with bluegill and crappie this year too as well. This new year that's coming up in 2019, we are going to do a lot more bass fishing, and we're going to do the other species too as well. But I want to give you the top 5 baits that were my go-to baits in 2018 for bass fishing. Now, one thing on this you're not going to see too much of is baits like crankbaits, great baits like jerk baits, stuff like that, because I don't really use them too much, and a lot of the waterways I use are pretty heavy in weeds. But anyway, we'll start off with the first one, and that was KVD Perfect Plastics swim bait. And I'm going to put a link down below to all these different types of baits and stuff like that, so if you're interested in buying, you can go ahead and get them. The KVD Perfect Plastic swim bait. I did use the Green Pumpkin Pearl Belly. Also another swim bait, and swim baits in general is where this is going to fall into a category. The Kitex I did really well with, and stuff like that. And like I said before, sorry about the background noise. But these baits here, real good. About a 4.5 inch, 5 inch bait. And I'm going to put that right there. That's swim bait. And I was rigging this, basically what I was doing with these is I was rigging them either with a belly weight with a screw-in tip, or I was just rigging them weightless and just slowly pulling them through grass beds. I was throwing them along lily pads near rocks, and I was doing really well, and I caught a lot of bass on the swim bait this year. It was a fun bait to use. It was kind of a newer bait for me to use because I really don't use too many swim baits, but that's one of the things I want to do with the new year coming in, is I want to work on getting out of my comfort zone. There's a lot of baits that I want to try throwing this year. Your crankbaits, your jerk baits. I want to do jigs and style baits like that. So yeah, the swim bait was number 5 on that list. Number 4 on that list would be the Yum Dingers, and this is the Morning Dawn. And what's crazy about the Morning Dawn was that I did really well on pressured lakes with this. So lakes that I knew that were getting hammered with your green pumpkins, your black and blue stick baits, your Senko style baits. I wanted to change it up, and this Morning Dawn, ooh, it was crazy on how well that did. And I don't know if you'll be able to see the colors through the camera, but it's kind of like a purplish on one side and pink on the other. This bait rigged Texas, rigged weedless, rigged wacky worm. It didn't matter how it was rigged. This bait was phenomenal. Did really well with this bait. Caught a lot of good sized bass with this. But yeah, it worked really good. It was strange too, because like everybody's throwing black and blue, everybody's throwing green pumpkin, everybody's throwing black. I threw that Morning Dawn, and it was crazy the bites I was getting on that bait. But yeah, that's the the Yum Dinger Morning Dawn. Now the next bait here is going to be 2 baits, but it's same bait, just different colors, and that's going to be the chatterbait, the Z-Man chatterbait. The chatterbait for me this year was pretty crazy. It was kind of a newer bait. When I lived in Florida, I used to throw the chatterbait really a lot along weed beds, grass, hydrilla, stuff like that. And that was the black and blue, and the green, and the white and chartreuse. These baits are crazy. A couple of the lakes that we fish here in Jersey are pretty dingy and dirty. And the one lake we call Cocoa Lake is really muddy. And both these colors were just phenomenal in there. And it was a lot of fun to do what I was doing in Florida when I lived down there, up here in New Jersey, and to implement those techniques. It was pretty crazy to see them work. But yeah, that's the Z-Man chatterbait. I don't know if you can see that there. That's the black and blue one. And the chartreuse. And I just picked up a new color one of these, and I don't know if it's new to the actual lineup, but it's new to me, and it's the Sexy Shad, which I'm pretty excited to try out. Alright, so that's the third lure set. So number 2 is going to have to be the old spinnerbait. With me and spinnerbaits, it's funny, I don't buy the most expensive ones. I buy those Walmart dollar ones. These are the Strike King, I believe this one was. I did really well with the white, and I also did really well with the white and chartreuse color. Silver Colorado braid, willow braid combo, the gold and silver. You know, spinnerbaits is another comfort lure that I didn't have much of, as far as what's the word I'm looking for? Didn't have confidence in that bait. You know, I've always threw them, but I was like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. I never really paid attention to them. And the more and more I watched videos and did stuff like that, man, this spinnerbait was crazy. This year I want to try to get some better spinner baits. I know, like with these cheap ones, after a few fish, they're just completely annihilated. I know we did really well with pickerel too on these too as well. But yeah, that's the spinnerbait. And my number 1 lure 2018 is pretty crazy. It's probably the cheapest one I bought of baits besides the dollar swim baits, and it's the Zoom Super Salty Plus Finesse Worm Black. This bait here caught me more fish this year than any other bait, and it didn't matter what the conditions were. I rigged it super simple. I rigged it completely weedless. I was throwing it on 6 to 8 pound test mono. I was reading it with a thin wired worm hook, and basically what I was doing is, because if you use a heavier worm hook on this, it just sinks the bait and it doesn't have attachment. But when you throw that lighter line, lighter wire hook, that bait just glides through the water. And like 85 and 90% of my strikes, where as I cast it out into the water, I cast it near some pads, near rocks, near whatever I could find out there, I was getting bit on the fall. And the Zoom Trick Worm was amazing. Solid black, like $3 you get 20 of these baits, and I mean, you're gonna go through them. You're lucky if you get 2, maybe 3 bass out of one bait. And man, the Zoom Trick Worm was a phenomenal bait this year. Like I said, I'll put links down below to all these for my affiliate links, and if you're interested in picking any of these up. So, but yeah, 2018 was fun. 2019 coming up is going to be exciting. I'm pretty excited here. I think we're going to have a mild winter. I really don't think we're going to get that much ice. Right now it's probably about 37 to 40 degrees out here. But yeah, it's just I'm hoping to get out on Wednesday. I'm not sure if we're going to go hit to the river for trout, or if we're going to see if we can get on some crappie and bluegill in a couple of local ponds, depending on how the weather goes. But yeah, 2019 is going to be phenomenal. We're working on using crankbaits. We're going to work on top water frogs, jerk baits. There's a bunch of stuff that I've never done before that I want to show you. Maybe who's trying to learn these techniques too as well. We can do it as a learning process together. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for all the support. Thank you for all that you've done for me as far as being here on YouTube, liking my videos, commenting on my videos, hitting me up on Instagram, you know, liking the pictures and hitting me up in the DMs and stuff like that. But I want to wish you guys a happy new year, have a safe new year out on the water. And guys, thanks once again, and have a great day.